This tutorial is going to be an enclosed bag. This one happens to be on the stop sign bag that fits on our 5x7 hoop, but these same rules would apply for the square bag, the circle bag, or any of our rectangle bags that we have for an enclosed bag. So with this one, you're going to need 6 pieces of fabric. With the rectangle pieces or with the rectangle fabric, and you would just measure from your zipper point up to here, and then I give it a little bit of half an inch or so. So I have 2 pieces, these 2 pieces, which are 6 by 7 inches, that I'm going to use for the outside of my bag, the front side of my bag. And then I have 2 more, same size, 6 by 7 inches, that are going to be the inner lining of my zipper pouch here. And then I have 2 more pieces, 2 6 by 7 inch pieces. One's going to be the inside lining and one's going to be the back side of your bag. In this particular case, since my front's going to be pretty plain, I wanted the back to be something coordinating. And then I have some embroidery going on this particular bag, so I will tell you where that step is also in case you want to add some text or an applique or something. So I've already gone ahead and done the first step, which is stitching out the placement stitching. I'm going to spray some 505 spray right here, and I'm going to get my zipper down, and then I'm going to run that tack down stitch. I have my zipper tacked down, and it's going to do the bottom portion of the bag first. So this is the bottom of my zipper, and this is the bottom part of my bag. I'm going to take the inside lining piece that I want the right side down and line it up with the bottom of that zipper, and then I just use some 505 spray to stick it on there. And then you're going to flip over, so now you can it's the right way. So you can see that the fabric is facing upwards. This is the bottom side of my bag, and then I'm going to take the piece that I'm going to put on the front side of my bag, same thing, right side down, and line it up with the bottom part of that zipper, and then you're going to run that placement stitching. Run that placement stitching, just make sure, especially with the zipper being in the center, that you're doing the right side of the bag. I always have my zipper pull off over here to the left, and then you're going to make sure both pieces of fabric are facing up towards the front of the machine. And then if you'll just peep up underneath your machine here and make sure that that bottom piece is laying flat and it's not catching up underneath the arm going the wrong direction. And then we'll go ahead and run that stitch. Just like to flip my machine over, make sure that it caught on both sides, and then you're going to flip these where the right sides are facing up. And I usually like to hit this crease right here with an iron, just real lightly to have that crease really defined and laying flat. Same with the front. We're going to pull this down. I'm going to hit that with an iron. And then the next step for me is going to be some embroidery. So I'm going to show you how to do that on your front piece where your bottom piece isn't going to get connected. Let me get this tacked down real quick. Alrighty, if you're going to add some applique or embroidery here, I'm going to add some on the bottom and the top. So this is the bottom piece. I have it back on my machine with this front piece laying flat. And then the bottom piece is still going to be pushed back like it was just a moment ago whenever we were doing the tack down stitching. That way you can lay this back over the embroidery later and it covers up those stitches. So I have it laid like that on my machine, and I'm going to go ahead and do my embroidery. Alrighty, so the monogramming has finished, and what you're going to do now is just take this bottom panel, cover up those stitches just like that, and then I'm going to take my pins and pin around it so it holds that part down. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the top. So I'm going to be spraying my 505 spray here, and this time you're going to do right sides together so that your right side is facing down. Line it up with that bottom line of your zipper, flip over, do the exact same thing with the top, line it up with your zipper top, right side to right side, and then stitch that placement stitching. I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did before, just making sure this got stitched well and this as well. I'm going to leave this piece laid this way because I have some more embroidery to do on the top of this bag, and I'm going to flip this way, hit my iron here, and pin around the side so it lays as flat as it can, and I'm going to get that top embroidery done, and then I'll be right back. Before you run your last stitch of the machine, you want to make sure you take your zipper pull and pull it to the inside of your bag. I don't know if I'm doing it one-handed, but move it to the inside of your bag, and then you're going to lay whatever fabric that you want for the back side of your bag face down, so right side to right side, and then run that next stitch. Side of the fabric, right side to right side again. This is going to be your inside lining fabric. So typically these two, you know, you'd want these to coordinate. Putting these together. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the front and take out all these pins because they're not needed anymore before I run that final stitch. So if you had any pins, take them out. And then I use a little bit of painter's tape, and I'll show you that just a moment. Okay, so I just put on a couple of pieces of painter's tape on the sides just so this piece of fabric doesn't flop off while I'm trying to put it on the machine. And then I'm going to go ahead and run that last step. When it comes off the machine, go ahead and cut around whatever shape you're cutting. This particular one does not have a notch out. Some of them I do have a stitched notch out if I had room on the hoop. If not, leave like a little bump or a rectangle piece here to make it easier later on to get that last piece stitched up. On one side it's going to have stitching all the way around, and then on this other side it's going to have a little notch out here, a hole for you to turn this inside out. So where the pieces are not connected, which is going to be the two lining pieces, you're going to flip your bag inside out. Alright, so I got it flipped all the way inside out, which is kind of a pain in the butt when they're super small like this. So one side is going to be this side, which is going to have your zipper. The other side is just the solid piece. And then we have that notch out piece that I cut. You're going to flip these two pieces in together. See if I can do it with one hand. Okay, sorry, I couldn't get it tucked in there on camera. So I tucked it in, and then I went ahead and ironed so that it's as flat as it can be. With these smaller bags, I would recommend getting fabric glue or tape to just put right in that hole since it's so small, because if you stitch on this line, which you can do, it very well could offset the bag since it's kind of a exact shape. So I would just use a little bit of fabric glue in there or fabric tape to lay that flat. And then now we're going to go ahead and stitch rip right here. Now make sure you're very careful with your stitch ripper or small scissors, but we're going to want to get this stabilizer off of here, and then we're going to turn our bag inside out through that zipper hole. Okay, I got the stabilizer off and unzipped the zipper the rest of the way, and you're going to flip your bag inside out. Alrighty, so I got my bag flipped inside out, got it all ironed up, front and back, got my embroidery done, and then if we unzip, you have the inside lining, which is the little teepees, and it coordinates nicely, and it's all enclosed. You can get a view of that. So you don't have any raw seams with this bag, and this would be a better bag to do if you're going to sell them or make them professionally. The other way that I showed was to just do it quick and easy and get it done in 5 or 10 minutes. This one takes a little bit longer, but these are great size for, like I said, like chapstick or little makeup, or like my daughter wanted to give this to her best friend, so they're really, really cute for that. This is the octagon or the stop sign pattern that I have on there, and then we did the square, and this one has the non-enclosed seams, and then I did the circle, which I did in the other video, which also is non-exposed. Okay, so these are the 3 that you're gonna get in this package, and it will be exposed and non-exposed, so have fun.